Hello and welcome to Chabot News for May 3rd, 2017. I'm Lorena Garibay, and in today's news we'll have the latest on Harry Styles' solo career and the results of the Alvarez and Chavez Jr. fight. All that and more on Chabot News. Eighteen Penn State students are facing criminal charges including aggravated assault and involuntary manslaughter following the February death of pledge member Timothy Piazza. The fraternity Beta Theta Pi has been permanently banned from Penn State after a hazing ritual called the Gauntlet resulted in a head injury that killed Piazza. The Gauntlet is a game where heavy drinking is forced over a short period of time, which resulted in Piazza falling headfirst 15 feet down a flight of stairs. Frat member Cordell Davis pleaded with his frat brothers to call 911, but he was thrown against the wall in protest. Senior fraternity brothers convinced Davis that he was overreacting, as Piazza went completely ignored the entire night, lying lifeless at the bottom of the stairs. It wasn't until they found him in the same position 12 hours later, the next morning, when they decided to call 911. Even after rediscovering the body, the frat brothers still waited an additional 40 minutes to finally make the call, presumably to hide evidence and cover their tracks. The victim's father, Jim Piazza, said, "This is a result of feeling of entitlement, flagrant disobedience of the law, and disregard for moral values that was then exacerbated by egregious acts of self-preservation." Penn State President Eric Barron stated, "It is numbing how an atmosphere that endangers the well-being and safety of another person could occur within an organization that prided itself on commitment to each other and to its community." Jury reaches verdict in Sierra Lamar murder trial. The Sierra Lamar murder trial has reached a verdict to be read at 9 a.m. Tuesday. Sierra, a 15-year-old from Morgan Hill, disappeared while walking to a school bus stop on March 16, 2012. Suspect Antolin Garcia Torres is charged with murdering the teen, even though her body has not been found. Defense lawyers suggested the teen is a runaway and a missing person, while prosecutors have linked Garcia Torres to DNA evidence. A Santa Clara County crime lab analysis testified in the trial that hair found on a rope recovered from the back of Garcia Torres' car contained Sierra's DNA. The trial started in January. The jury deliberated between 10 to 11 hours before reaching a verdict. A spokesperson for the Santa Clara County Court said, "Watch out. More than 10,000 expected in the streets for annual Bike to Work Day. The 23rd annual Bike to Work Day kicks off with a week-long commute challenge, as well as events planned throughout the week to commemorate May as National Bike Month. Official Bike to Work Day throughout the Bay Area was Thursday. Tech companies, including Google and Facebook, as well as cities and nonprofit organizations, have collaborated to host more than 40 stops around South Bay and Peninsula communities. According to San Mateo County's commuting report, its booming economy and low unemployment rates mean more commuters clogging up the roads. San Mateo County commuters are experiencing longer commutes, extended peak hour traffic, and crowded trains," the report stated. Now here we have Ari with the latest in entertainment.
Thanks, Lorena. In a recent interview with Vulcan magazine Fifth Harmony's Lauren Jauregui expressed her thoughts about sexuality and feminism. Jauregui fearlessly argued that the criticism of the group having a sexualized image does not contradict their feminist mission. Jauregui quotes, "Women embracing their sexuality should never be a reason to disregard their intellect or ability to speak on topics beyond that." Jauregui explains her perspective of women expressing their confidence as a performer and loving themselves is very important and something that shouldn't be taboo. Jauregui also talked about how a lot of female fans found their worth through the girls group, music, and interviews. Now that is a successful way of women empowerment, and she shouldn't be misjudged for that. Harry Styles' first world tour as a solo artist is successful as it went sold out in seconds. Styles tweeted how overwhelmed he is with the support from his fans, but he will make sure to have more tour dates in the future for the fans who missed out. Styles also has an album expected to be released on May 12, 2017. Sign of the Times is the first song released on his debut album. Harry's style of the music video is very different from the mainstream ones he's used to doing. Styles' announced first tour will take place in the city, San Francisco, on September 19. Then after the US tour is Canada, then Europe, Asia, Australia, and New Zealand. That's it for entertainment this week. Back to you, Lorena.
Thanks, Ari. For more than a year, Phoenix police were stumped by a serial shooter who stalked victims after dark and gunned them down as they stood outside their homes or in their cars. 9 people in total were killed, and many others were injured in 12 separate shootings. Police filed thousands of tips, went door to door, and analyzed ballistics from a different, unrelated serial shooting case. Finally, they were able to arrest 23-year-old Aaron Juan Saucedo, a former city bus driver who is accused of the murders. 8 of the victims and all of the injured victims were random people that Saucedo did not know, while one of the victims was a man who had dated Saucedo's mother. Police do not know what motivated the killer in these heinous acts of inhumanity. During this killing spree, Saucedo took one man's life on New Year's morning and shot 2 teenage boys in a separate incident, killed a woman outside of her house at dawn, and also shot a 21-year-old man and his 4-year-old nephew as they sat in their car. The mayor of Phoenix, as well as the police chief, are finally able to put this long journey behind them and are now relieved that they are able to finally bring justice to the families of these victims. Thank you. Now here's Aubrey, who will tell us latest with local sports.
Thanks, Lorena. Cinco de Mayo weekend's much-hyped Alvarez vs. Chavez Jr. boxing match, which many were calling the Mexican Super Bowl, sadly ended in controversy as countless disappointed fans took to social media, calling the match fixed. Many are suggesting that Chavez was instructed to throw the fight in order to set Alvarez up for his next bout with Gennady Golovkin, aka Triple G. Of course, speculation over the rigging of major sporting events is nothing new, and in some instances, it's just painfully obvious. But being that the match meant so much to so many, this felt like an extremely low blow. Last month, at the Stanford Invitational Track Meet in Palo Alto, an unnamed official received a painful reminder of why it's always best to pay close attention to what's happening on the track. The daydreaming official apparently wandered onto the track during the 1,500-meter dash and was literally knocked off his feet when numerous runners crashed into him. Avoiding the carnage was Oklahoma State's Joshua Thompson, who went on to win the race. A good reminder for all of us to stay woke and always be aware of the surroundings. That's all for sports. Back to you, Lorena.
Well, that's it for Chabot News this week. Thanks to all the students and staff in the Mass Communications Department here at Chabot College for making this production possible. You can watch us anytime online at youtube.com/ChabotTV. Stay tuned to KCTH Channel 27 for more Chabot TV.